Hello and welcome to Warrior Camping. Oi, Tent Peg Nose. You said I could do the intro for the lovely old Nemo. Oh yeah, sorry Cat, I clean forgot. Well go on then, you can still do it. No, kiss my fluppies. You've started it now without me. Come on, you can still do it. No, you're on your own, mate. I'm looking for Nemo. And if I find him, I'm gonna eat him. What, with chips? No, with Froggy. I don't know anyone called Chips. So let's get back to the lovely old Nemo tent. Well, it's not that old, this tent. There you can see it's the Galaxy from Nemo. Then after that, I've got a Vault Hogan to do. So if I get time today, I'm going to do that. Now that's the Mark 1. That's like the early Hogan. It's the first one, and it's in that lovely blue colour like that bag. But we're not worried about that today. Going to be looking at this lovely old Nemo tent. Now this is a tent, I did buy this tent brand new about 8 or 10 years ago. I reckon I bought this tent, and I did get my cash out because this thing was quite expensive, because it is a bit of a high-end tent, this one. You're not getting a brand new Nemo tent cheap, are you? It just ain't happening. So I bought this because my friend Amy, she bought herself a brand new Big Agnes tent. And she's like, right, I've got my new tent. Come on, me and you are going away for a couple of weeks because I want to try my new tent out. So we decided to go to the Isle of Man for a couple of weeks because the TT was on, and we thought, right, let's do it. Let's go to the Isle of Man and watch a bit of the TT. So there you see it, look, I even bought a nice set of pegs for this tent. MSR groundhog pegs. Yeah, they're great pegs. Light as a feather, strong as you like. So I bought them to take with me when we went to the Isle of Man. And I bought this tent, because we was going and she had a brand new tent. I thought, right, I'm going to buy myself a new tent to take. So that is how come I bought this Nemo. So it was good. Me and Amy both had brand new tents to use. Yeah, it was good. So she had a brand new Big Agnes tent, and I had this brand new Nemo. And I did buy them pegs when I bought the tent as well. I treated myself to a set of pegs. So as you see there, this thing's got a lovely aluminium pole, and this is like a big spider pole. So it's got a lovely set. Well, it's not a set of poles. This is like one big pole that all clips together like a spider pole. I just keep that bit of string round it because you never know when a bit of string will come in handy, and it keeps all my poles nice and tight in that bag. So I look after this old Nemo tent because I really like it. I've used this a lot for like a sort of tent that I haven't had that long. I know like I've had it sort of 10 years, but for me that's not that long to have a tent. I've got tents I've had donkey's years. So this one, I sort of bought it and I just really like this tent. So I do use it quite a lot, this thing. I don't know what it is about this tent. I really like it. I've had some great times with this tent. I've had some really good adventures with it. So I really love this old Nemo. It is a really, really good tent. So as you can see there, it did come with a footprint, this old Nemo tent. So when I bought it, the footprint was included in the deal. So I got it with the tent. So this thing has never been put up without this footprint. So the little floor of my Nemo's always been lovely and protected. So it was still in really nice condition. Because they do help, these footprints. Because like when this Nemo is a really lightweight tent, the floor on this thing is only thin. Although it's really good materials, the floor is only thin. So on tents like this, you really want a footprint for them. It really does sort of help. Because I think you could quite easily get a hole in one of these really lightweight tents because the floor is so thin. So I just put some pegs in the footprint and pull it out a bit. So you just peg it in every corner, peg the old footprint down, and then put the tent on top. As you can see, it's got its little label saying Nemo on the old footprint. And you'll see, as this tent goes up, this footprint, it has stretched a little bit over the years. I've got a few tents where they've done that. The footprints, where you peg them out tight and that, they seem to stretch a little bit. Because, like, when this was new, this footprint fitted the tent perfect. But now, the footprint is a little bit bigger than the tent. It doesn't make no odds to it, but the footprint has definitely stretched a little bit over the years. I've got a few tents where the footprint has kind of stretched a little bit. So I'll just get the inner of the tent and lay it out on the footprint and then just hook it over the pegs on all the corners. And then you get the poles in, because the poles like go through the inner and into the footprint, so it's easier if you do it like this and sort of put the poles into both bits together. And it's a nice inner on this Nemo tent. I'll show you it before I put the fly on, because this is like another one I've got that is a really good stargazer. So when it's warm in the old summer, put this thing up, don't put the fly on it. Yeah, this is a really good stargazing tent. I have used it like that. Not that much, because I've got a mountain hardware hammerhead. And if I go out for a night's camping, when I'm doing a bit of stargazing, I just love to use that hammerhead. It's a lovely old tent, it is. And I've done the video on it, so that one's on the channel, the mountain hardware hammerhead. But this Nemo's really good for stargazing as well. So if you're after a stargazing tent, one of these is a good one to get. And as you see there, look, the little ground sheet has stretched a little bit because it's like bigger than the tent stretches out. So the ground sheet is now a bit bigger than the tent. So you just have to like fold it in a little bit at the corners. It never was like that, so either the ground sheet has stretched or the tent has shrunk a little bit. Now the tent's not going to have shrunk a little bit, is it? So it's going to be the ground sheet has stretched a bit. And it's sort of, the ground sheet of this has been used more than the tent, because like I've used this ground sheet with other tents. So this little ground sheet, it has seen more camping action than the tent. So let's get this old pole together. So as you see, it's like one piece, big spider pole, and they all lock into that ring in the centre. So it's got like a big pole on this. It's strong, this tent. When this tent is up, for a little tent, it is really strong, this little Nemo. It really is. I've had this out like when we had it, when I first had it, Isle of Man, me and Amy, she had a big Agnes and that. We was out there, a proper storm rolled in when we was camping in the Isle of Man, and this Nemo stood up better than her big Agnes. Her big Agnes was flapping about like anything, but not this little Nemo. My little Nemo just stood there, solid as a rock, did not move. So it's tough as old boots, this thing. And it was windy that day. It was like late afternoon. The old sky blackened over and the winds kicked up. And yeah, it did get really windy. And we was like exposed out in a big flat field. So we had nothing like protecting us. And there was another person there, and they was camping with a couple of kiddies, and they had like a family tent, like a big tent that you could stand up in. It was like a big three-pole sort of tunnel tent with a porch on it. And like we were looking at it, and it's really flapping, this old tent they had, this family tent. And then next minute, the side of it has collapsed. So one side of it has ended up on the ground all flapping, and then we see them get out of it because they was in there. So they've abandoned the tent, and just as they've like got out of it, the winds really had a massive gust, and that tent blew away. So I don't know if they ever got it back or not. The tent just blew away. It just shot off across this field like this big blue tent. It went right up in the air. It was like something out of like one of the films you see, like a hurricane film with his tent just flying through the sky. Yeah, it was funny. I always remember it. Me and Amy have laughed about it since, the tent. It was like the house in The Wizard of Oz. So as you see, I've put the poles in the loops at one side, so you just sort of bend them up into shape, like push them in and lift them, and then just put them in the loops this side, and then the pole is up. So it's easy to do this pole. And once you've done it a couple of times and you get like the knack of it, it's really easy to put up this tent. It pitches up in no time, this old Nemo. Yeah, so it is a nice tent to pitch, very easy. So back to like the Wizard of Oz family tent that this bloke had in the Isle of Man. So the wind's like just got hold of this tent, and the tent has just shot across the field and then gone right up in the air. So it's like flying through the sky, and there's like sleeping bags falling out of it, and there are bags of clothes and other stuff all falling out of it. So me and Amy are like helping this bloke running across this field trying to gather up all his stuff. So I think he got most of his stuff back, but I think that tent ended up in the sea somewhere because it was so high in the sky, it just kept going and going. Yeah, it was funny. And even the bloke with his couple of little kiddies, he was laughing about it, and his kids, because the tent was just gone. But my little Nemo and Amy's big Agnes, they both survived without a scratch and lived to fight another day. So as you can see, the poles are up, and then you just go round putting the inner on these little clips. And they're good, these little clips. They're not the ones that you have to struggle putting them on. They go on nice and easy, these clips. So they are good clips on this Nemo tent. And I've never had nothing break on this tent. It's been good as gold, this tent. I've had no trouble with it whatsoever. And I don't even bother putting the guides on this thing. It doesn't need them. I always keep the guides with it, because if it did have it out and the storm kicked up or something, yeah, I would get out and put the guides on it. But I don't normally bother with the guides on this thing. It don't need them. This thing is so strong. It don't need guiding out. You need to do the ones at the front and the back. It's got like a guide that holds like the fly out a bit so it vents better. You need to do them too to get it venting nice. But the actual main guides, I don't bother on this Nemo. Don't need them. Strong as you like, this little Nemo is. Lovely little tent. So that's it, you do that, and then it's got that roof pole that just does on the loops. And there you go, the inner on the Nemo is up. So yeah, look at that, proper stargazer with all that mesh. Lovely inner that is, big bathtub floor and all that mesh. So on a hot summer's night, just like that, this thing is fantastic. Look at it. We're getting it while it's like that, and I'll show you it, because this is another one that when you're in it, the mesh kind of disappears a little bit. You can see it's there, but a lot of these tents, when they are the stargazer, you get in them and they just like you're looking through black mesh, so they ain't that good. But this Nemo, the mesh does kind of vanish a little bit. It's not as good as the mountain hardware. That hammerhead, the mountain hardware, when you're in that, it's like you're not in a tent, because the mesh, whatever mesh they used on that, that sort of goes invisible. So this one, it isn't as good as that, but it's still a very, very good stargazing tent, this little Nemo. It really is. And if you've never done it, if you've never had a stargazer or never had your tent with no fly on it and just laid there overnight looking at the sky and all that, you should do it, because it is really good. I love doing it if the weather's nice. You know you're getting a clear night with no clouds and that. It's lovely to just go out and be in a tent like this where you just see all what's going on out and about in the sky. It's like really a good thing to do. So if you've never done it, I would recommend give it a try. So you just unzip the door and roll it back. And I love this about this Nemo tent on the door. Look, that is a magnetic strap. Yeah, that's fantastic, that strap. You just do that and lock it on the magnet. Now, how simple is that? To me, that is the best way you can hold the door back. I know you might have your favourite way, but that is definitely my favourite way of doing it. Because it is just so easy and so simple. So there, as you can see, look, inside the old stargazer. Now look, the old mesh does sort of vanish. I hope the camera's picking it up properly, because it's like you can just sort of see there's mesh there, but it is very clear, the mesh on this thing, so it makes it a really good stargazer. It's got a little pocket up there that you can put your light in, so that's like a little diffuser. Put your light in it, there you go, light pocket. So it is clearly labelled, so you know exactly what it is. Because otherwise you might get people who don't realise that's a light pocket, and they might think that's where you're meant to sleep or something like that. So the label stops any confusion. And it has got a few loops for the lantern, or so you can hang your little washing line up or whatever you want to do. So it is nice in here, this inner. And I would say this about these Nemo tents. The build quality on these Nemo tents is fantastic. You will never find a stitch out of place. You will never find anything a little bit dodgy on them. They are like made perfect, the old Nemo tents. So, well, they should be, because they are expensive, ain't they? But they are sort of worth the money, these Nemo tents, because they are really, really good tents. And it's a bit weird in the UK, because they're quite rare in the UK, aren't they? You don't really see them. All right, round the rest of the world, America and all that, I think there's loads of them. But in the UK, you don't see many Nemo tents. Like the amount of people that come up to me when I've got this up, and they're like, oh, that's a Nemo. I've never seen a Nemo tent before. So there's not many here in the UK. I've seen more when I've gone camping down Europe. I've seen them. Gone down the south of France, or down to the bottom of Spain and all that, or down in Italy camping and that. I've seen these Nemo tents a bit more. But in the UK, a Nemo tent is pretty rare. Lately, I've seen a few more, like the Dragonfly and that. I think that is getting Nemo a bit more into the UK. Some of them more modern tents, people are buying them. But like I said, this one's like 8 or 10 years old. When I first got this, you never saw Nemo tents in the UK. Very, very, very rare to see a Nemo tent here in the UK. And I don't know why, because you should see a lot more of them, because they are that good. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised that people in the UK don't have more Nemo tents, because they are really, really good tents. It's a fantastic company, the old Nemo company. It really is. It's up there with any of the great companies. Nemo stands alongside them. It is a top company. So let's get the old fly on, and as you see there, it's got the little Velcro bits. I'll do this one as well. That just locks it onto the poles. Now I do always put this on, because it just helps hold the fly in place, and it only takes 2 seconds to put them on. So I always put them on this tent. Just do that, and the little Velcro bit, just wrap it round the pole and Velcros together. And there's just one on every corner on the pole, so it doesn't take long to put them on. And it is worth putting them on, because it just holds everything in place better on this old Nemo tent. I know some tents have them, and I don't bother putting them on, because they don't really do a lot. But on this one, they do help it all stay in place, so I do put them on this one. So that's it, you just do them 4 Velcro bits, and then these bits are just on the loops again, and I just hook them underneath like that, and just hook them on the end of the pole. And that's it, it's all you need to do. So you just do that on the 4 corners, and then there's like a guide either end that holds the fly out a bit, gets it venting better. So I like do them. But the other guides, it would have quite a few more guides on this thing. Where the poles are, where them Velcro bits are, there's a guide everywhere there. Plus it's got some other guide points on it. So you can really guide this thing out if you want to. I carry 'em, but I never bother putting the guides on this thing because it just don't need 'em. The shape of this tent, the wind seems to just blow over it. It does not like really flap about and that, this tent, so I don't never bother with the guides. And it's not like I'm going to be taking this tent out in the winter, is it? This is not a good winter tent. The whole inner on this thing is made of mesh. So you take this out in the UK at the end of January, you will be freezing in it. So, yeah, I don't use it like that. If it had an inner with, like, that wasn't the mesh and that, and I used it more in the winter, yeah, I might leave all the guides on it, but I don't. This is like summertime only camping for me with this Nemo. I'm not taking this out in the winter, it'd be too cold. I've got some really good winter tents that I will take out winter time. Not this thing. This is like the worst winter tent you could ever get your hands on, this. Because like the fly doesn't even go all the way to the ground. And there is a big like gap all the way round the fly to help this tent vent out. So it vents lovely, this tent. It is not holding heat in it. Lovely summer tent. And you'll see when I put the little guides out at the front and the back, it like pulls the fly out away from the inner at the front and the back to like give it massive airflow going through it. So in the winter you would not want to be in here. You'd need about 10 sleeping bags and 6 coats on. So if you're like looking for a tent to use all year round, this Nemo ain't for you. This is summertime only tent, this thing. It really is, with all that mesh and that. This is summertime only. You would not want to take this out in the winter. There would be no point. You might as well not bother with a tent. You might as well just sleep in some bushes. You'd be just as warm as in this thing. But then in the summertime, that's when this tent comes into its own, because it vents so well, this tent. So even if it is red hot outside, it's lovely in this Nemo. That is what this tent is designed for, them hot summer days. So if you are like looking for a winter tent, when we start going a bit more into winter, we're not that far off it now, I'll start getting my winter tents out. I have got quite a few. I've done a few on the channel already. I've done a Quasar and my Hurricane, but I've got quite a lot of winter tents, so I will start getting some of them out as we go more into winter. So if you're after a winter tent, keep an eye on the channel, because I've got quite a lot of them to put on, really. I love a winter tent, because they're so different to these summer tents, aren't they? A good winter tent, it won't be as light as a feather. It'll have a little bit of weight to it. It will be very robust. It'll have big heavy-duty poles on it. It'll have a few poles on it. So them winter tents are very different to a summer tent. I do love a winter tent. I love them big, robust winter tents that when you get in them, they are as warm as you like. No mesh, no nothing like that. They're very, very different to these summer tents. So I've got quite a few different winter tents. I will get them out and they will all end up on the channel. So if you're after a winter tent, keep an eye on the channel, because I have got quite a few to put on them, because I do really like them. And I do really like this Nemo tent. I do love this Nemo tent. For like a modernish tent, I really love this thing. It's a fantastic tent, this Nemo. It really is. Now, I know it's got its place. It's only a summer tent. But what a summer tent this thing is. So I'm just pulling out the little vegetables and put a peg in it. Hold them out, and then you just tighten it up on them little straps, and they're good, them little straps, because you like lift the clip and just pull the string through. They work really well, them little tensioners. They're like a really good, another bit of design from the old Nemo company. All the little bits on this tent is so well thought out, this tent. I think that's partly why I really like it. Everything about this tent is really well done, really well thought out. Like the Nemo Design Company go that extra mile to make sure their tents are really nice to use. And I got dirt on Nemo. Sorry, Nemo, I didn't mean to make you dirty, mate. That's why I've just wiped it off. I don't want no dust and dirt on my lovely old Nemo. Now look at it like that. Oh, look how good she looks. And that's what I'm saying with that guide out the front. That's pulled that fly right out. So that's a massive air vent up under there. A ton of air comes through there. So that's what I'm saying. You do not want to be in this thing in the winter. You might as well just be outside. So yeah, look, lovely. I like the colour of this as well. I don't normally, I'm not a fan of this bright green. But on this Nemo, it suits it. I like the colour of this one. I've got other tents in this bright green, and I look at them and I think, I wish it was in dark green, or I wish it was in brown or blue or something like that. That is a guide point there, so it's got them all round it. So yeah, like other tents I've got in a similar sort of colour, I look at them and think, I wish that was in a different colour, that tent. But I don't with this Nemo. I love it in this colour. I just think it really suits this tent, this bright green. It really does. So I am glad it's in this colour. That green with the black. And then the grey bathtub floor. Yeah, it's got a really good look to it, this tent. And look, you see there, it's blowing a gale today. Look at them trees moving and that. Nemo's not moving. It just don't move, this tent. This tent just stands there. It's like, yeah, come on, wind, what you got? You won't move me. And I do think a bit of that as well is because the fly don't go to the ground, innit? So if you get them like low down winds, they kind of just go underneath this thing. Or they kind of blow through it. Because if you're in this when it's windy, the wind will come through this tent. So the wind just like goes over it, comes through it and goes under it. So it does not move it. And look at it there. It's a good shape, this tent, isn't it? It really, I know a lot of tents look like this. They got this kind of shape to them. But this one does it better. This one really is a good looking tent, this Nemo. So let's open it up. Let's get the zip open on the Nemo. And it's got a nice set of zips on this. They really work well. Lovely and smooth, the zips on this. I've never had them snag or anything. And it goes right up there under that little flap. And that flap is like another little air vent. So the door just rolls up and goes on the toggles. Like most tents, innit? I don't know why they didn't do the old magnet trick again, because it would have been good if it had it on this door as well, but it hasn't. It's just got a normal set of toggles. Well, they're not normal toggles, really. They are the toggles that you, like, put them through and then pull them tight so they don't come undone and it holds everything nice and in place. So you do that. You put it through like a normal toggle. But then it's got a little bit on it, a little button. You push the button in and then slide it down and it holds everything nice and tight so there's no way it's going to fall off. So even the toggles on this thing are good Nemo design. So what I'm saying, everything about this tent is so well thought out. You just have to love one of these tents if you've got one, because it's so well designed, this thing is. And as you see there, you can just do one door and then leave that bit of the vegetable out. So that becomes your little windbreaker. And then you can do a bit of cooking and that there. So whatever side the wind's blowing from, you just open up the other side. And then you can still do a bit of cooking without the wind blowing everything everywhere and blowing all the heat away from your stove. So as you see there, look, that is the little air vent. So that bit there, you can unzip the tent because it's got like the double zip. So you do the top of the tent down a little bit and then it's got that little bar there. So you put that in, it's got this either side. You put that in, put the little bar in and then you got a nice little air vent at the top there as well. So you can open the tent up like that and get it venting good at the top. Or you can do that zip down a bit more and vent it out a bit further. So you can really vent this tent out well for in the summer. This is a really good hot summertime camping tent. It really is. And as you see, like this little bar, even this is a really good design. Because that little bar, You pull it out, and then it's got its own little Velcro bit, so you lock it into place there. So not many tent companies would do that, would they? They'd just leave that little bar dangling and flapping. That's how they are in most tents. But not on Nemo. They've gone the extra mile and took the time to work out how to even make that little bar a really good design feature. So yeah, you got to give it to Nemo. They do go the extra mile to make sure their tents are really good to use. So I'll just do the same on this side and roll the little door up and then put it onto its nice little adjustable toggle. And I have got a few of these Nemo tents. I've got a little one-man Nemo tent, a blow-up one, and I really like that. And I've got some other Nemo tents. They're alright, they might be a better tent than this, I'm not sure. They're up there, they're as good as this one. But I don't like them as much as this one. This is my favourite Nemo tent. I do like my little one-man blow-up tent because it's so quirky. It's a lovely little tent, it is. But this one is definitely my favourite Nemo tent out of the ones I've got. I'm not saying it's the best Nemo tent I've got, but it is my favourite. I really love this old tent. And I really enjoy using this tent. It really is a nice tent to take out this thing. Everything about it is a pleasure. Undoing all the bits, all the toggles, that little magnet bit, everything's a pleasure. Pitching it up is a pleasure, it packs down nice. Everything about this tent is just lovely and so well thought out and user friendly. So yeah, just really like this Nemo tent, and I like the look of this one. I love how this thing looks. It just has got a really good look to it, this tent. So let's have a little look inside it now the old fly's on. So you can see we'll do this door as well. Open this door up on it, on the lovely little Nemo. So like even the zips on this inner, they're really nice zips on this thing. They're smooth as silk. They really are lovely. No snagging, no nothing. They just work perfect every single time you open or close them. And as you see there, it's quite big, the vestibule on this tent, and you've got that much room either side, so you can store a ton of gear in this old Nemo. You really can. For a little tent, it has got a load of room in it. So it's got nice big pockets. It's got there and the same on the other side. So exactly the same. It's just got its label. Not a lot to say on that. And there he has, look. Designed in the USA, made in China. And that bit there, it's got clips. Every corner's got one of them little poppers. You can buy a thing called a paw print, which like goes inside this tent, and you can so it's like a sort of ground protector inside as well that goes on them poppers. I did have one for this tent, but I cannot find it, so I don't know if I have lost it or it is about somewhere, because it was only in like a tiny little flat little, like not a stuff sack, it was in like a little sleeve. It was really small, this little paw print thing, but I just cannot find it, so I think I might have lost it because it's easily lost. So like I might have been camping and just left it behind because it was only tiny, or I have moved house not that long ago, so I moved here from somewhere else. I could have lost it then because it really was small. So as you can see, Jess has got in, and look, there is enough room in here. It's a nice sized 2-person tent. Plenty of room in here for two of you. It's not a teeny tiny little 2-man tent. It's quite a decent size, this old Nemo. So there's plenty of room in here. And with them big vegetables either side, you haven't got to have no gear in here with you. So all your gear goes in the vestibule. So all this sleeping bit just becomes for sleeping. And there is like plenty of room in here. So it's a really nice tent, this one. And I did hunt for that paw print The other day I had another good look for it. If it doesn't turn up soon, I'm going to buy another one. I've already started having a look on eBay, but I couldn't see one on there. If one comes up on eBay, a decent price, I'm going to buy another paw print for my Nemo, because it was good. It was only light, and it gave you another layer of protection on the floor of this tent. And I want this tent to last a long time, because I love this old tent, so I want to look after it. So I will get another paw print if I can get my hands on one. Unless mine does turn up, you never know, it might just be somewhere, because it could be in a drawer, it could be anywhere, it could be muddled up in with another tent somewhere maybe. I don't really know. So that door, you take that door off the peg and then roll it up exactly the same as you did the other one. It goes on the nice little toggle. Put the toggle on it, push the button, slide it down, locks it into place. No way that is falling off. So they're good, the toggles on this. I know a lot of tents have the toggles with that little button, but on this one, they work better than them other ones. A lot of them other ones, you push the button and they're really hard to slide up and down and that. But not on this. Again, they're like silk, them toggles. Just do that little button and they just slide up. They're like a pleasure to use them little toggles. You just do that little button and they just work so well. They really are designed well, them toggles.
Yeah, they are good, them toggles.
Alright, Cat. Have you cheered up now, mate, and stopped sulking?
Shut up, I weren't sulking.
Oh, where's he gone now?
I'm here.
Where?
Here.
Where?
Here. And I weren't sulking, I was just really looking forward to doing the bit on the Nemo tent, and you went and done it without me. Because you are a twig-stoved-faced, fly-cheat licker with less brains than a bent budget tent peg from Go Outdoors.
Yeah, sorry, Cat, I clean forgot about it, mate, and I will make it up to you. I'll tell you what, mate, I'll do you whatever you want for tea tonight. Whatever you want, you can have. So what do you want for your tea tonight?
Or anything.
Yeah, anything.
Or I'll have anything.
Yeah, Cat, anything.
Or let me think, I'll have, I know, I'll have double sausage, bacon, cheesy chips and beans. Lovely.
Alright, Kate, you can have that. Double sausage, bacon, cheesy chips and beans.
With an egg and 2 bits of toast.
Alright, Cat. So there, as you can see, looks nice, the old Nemo, all opened up, both sides, so you can look right through it and that. Yeah, look at that, really nice in the old summer, opened up like that. Lovely tent to be out in on a hot summer's day, but just not very good in the winter. So this lovely old Nemo, of course it's getting a thumbs up from me. It's getting a massive thumbs up, this thing. It's absolutely fantastic tent. It's got tons of features that all work really well. It's really well made. It's strong as you like. It can handle anything the wind's got to chuck at it. So this Nemo really is a good tent. And if you are looking to buy a tent, you couldn't go wrong with one of these Nemos, long as you don't want to go winter camping. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you could join me again. See what I'm pitching, looking at, buying or cooking. So I'm off now because I've got to cook everyone a lovely, nice, tasty tea. So what we having, Cat?
Tonight we're having double sausage, bacon, cheesy chips and beans. With an egg and 2 bits of toast. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it already.
Meow.